Entitlements, pricey union benefits. Look at where it got Detroit. Where could it be taking us? Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday to you. I'm Jenna Lee in for Neil Cavuto today, and this is your world, or apparently it's Detroit's world. As we look at the news today, $18 billion in debt is driving the Motor City into bankruptcy. Is Washington watching? Because the country is tackling the very same issues as the nation's debt races towards $17 trillion. Cato's Institute Dan Mitchell says Washington better wake up. Wake up or else, Dan.
We better wake up, because whether you're talking about what happened to Detroit, whether you're talking about the cities in California that have declared bankruptcy, whether you're looking at the European welfare states, all these things have the same basic underlying causes. When you have a very bad ratio of people who produce compared to all the people who have their snouts in the public trough, then you wind up with a financial disaster. Now, with the federal government, it's more entitlements. With state and local governments, it's more very bloated government workforces and overly generous unfunded pensions, but it comes out to exactly the same result. This was the most predictable crisis in the world for Detroit, just like it was a very predictable crisis for Greece. And if we don't do anything to control entitlements here in Washington, it's the most predictable crisis for America.
Dan, some might say the comparison doesn't really work, though, right? Because Greece, some said, would really cause a problem for the entire United Nations, right? Not United Nations, the European Union. It would cause a lot of issues for the EU. But does Detroit actually pose that same sort of threat for the United States of America? If the city goes bankrupt, you know, does it have that same effect?
I don't believe in that contagion argument. When Greece went bankrupt, it didn't threaten the European Union any more than Detroit going bankrupt threatens Michigan, or say if California goes bankrupt, that doesn't threaten the entire United States. The analogy instead is that if you have a mismatch of people who produce compared to people who try to live off the government, sooner or later that's going to catch up with you. And all of our cities, states, nations, however you want to measure it, with aging populations, you can't have these unfunded schemes, whether it's for entitlements or whether it's for excessive
So how do you fix it?
Benefits for government workers. And the way you fix it is simple. If you're Detroit or you're the state of Michigan or any other city or state government, you switch to a system of defined contribution retirement, which means basically personal savings accounts, like you have in about 30 countries around the world. And if you're a country, whether you're Greece or whether you're the US or France or Japan, you have to reform your entitlements. Again, you need to move towards something called pre-funding. That basically means instead of an unfunded tax and transfer entitlement like Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid, you move to a system of mandatory savings.
But how
and the
difficult
countries that have done this, it's worked.
How difficult is it to do that in reality? And how do you do it with the unions?
Well, on the state and local level, the unions are the big obstacle, especially since they're the big funders of these political machines in states like California and cities like Detroit. How you overcome that? Well, frankly, I hope bankruptcy is going to give Detroit a chance for a second renaissance by getting out from under a lot of these contracts. In terms of how you fix it as a country, well, we did have a budget in the House of Representatives that's been passed for 3 years in a row that at least deals with the giant multi-trillion-dollar unfunded liabilities of Medicare and Medicaid. Unfortunately, the Senate and the White House are opposed, but we do have a little bit of time. As bad as I think our numbers are nationally for the United States, we're not going to go belly up before France goes belly up, before Japan goes belly up.
Well,
and every time another country gets in trouble, money flows to the U.S. as a safe haven. So we have a little bit of breathing time, but we better not wait too long.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because it would have ruined my weekend otherwise if I knew it was coming sooner than that, Dan. I appreciate it very much, Dan. Nice to see you.
Thank you.